Hi, good morning. It's Trading Bitcoin. Tone had me go very quickly and live, so you're having a little fun here. Both dogs are here, so that's going to be a lot of fun as well. First of all, we may get a surprise appearance from Adolfo. Second of all, Chinese rankings came out today. Tone, is Bitcoin number one finally?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, so we weren't gonna do like our normal trading show. No, we weren't gonna do our normal news show. Oh, by the way, I got a haircut, and like I promised, I promised I wasn't gonna wear a hat. Now that I got the haircut, but in yesterday's show of the live the hearings, I had a hat in the thumbnail, so I wanted to match my outfit from the thumbnail, so I had to wear a hat. But today I'm not really wearing a hat, so there you go, guys. I want to make sure we have live viewers, and we do. We have 250 live viewers.
Oh my gosh, you
Just make
crazy
sure everything's
people.
working.
Tone, I'm just a little disappointed. Everybody even tipped you for a mohawk. Some people tipped you for an inverse mohawk.
I know. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do, right? Like I can't do it. It's too late for this summer, right? But what we're gonna do is next time I'm home, which is not gonna be till winter, so I may not do it in the winter, but definitely for the summer. Either way, either in January or like next June, I'm gonna kick off a Twitter poll for like 3 days, and you guys can vote on what haircut I'm going to get.
Boom. Hey, Bitcoin's kind of crazy. And also, at least here, the markets start in 11 minutes. So let's get
Yeah, yeah,
moving.
yeah. Market starts 11 minutes. I actually
Wait,
got
who's top for Chinese rankings?
I need. Oh yeah, Chinese ranking. Let's do that. Let's do Chinese rankings. This is
Nobody's
great.
hanging.
Somebody sent me that. Like one of my workshop attendees sent me the latest Chinese rankings. I'm assuming they're the latest Chinese rankings and they're not the previous ones. It could have been someone that didn't know we do these, but here we go. The unveiling of the Chinese rankings.
Getting ready. Oh, EOS, my favorite. Oh,
I
thank
know
God.
EOS comes in number one, and
Oh, I'm so happy.
Ethereum comes in number two.
Where are we getting Bitcoin?
Yeah, it took me like a while to find
Oh,
it.
look at that. Okay, it's hmm, down there. 16th. Oh, we stayed the same. Okay, that's great. That's
Maybe they are the same. Maybe it's the same as last time. Like it's hard to tell. Maybe the person didn't know that we cover Chinese rankings. This just came in like 5 minutes ago, so I didn't really have time to find out if this is the same one as before or it's a new one. I've never heard of GX Chain, and that's coming in at number four. I'm assuming it's something from China, and but it's amazing. Like I pretty much. Almost everything on here is a scam. I mean, Verge is on there for God's sakes. They've been 51% attacked like 8 times. Like no, it's this is really fascinating. Uh,
last question.
I never even heard of Nebulous either. Number three.
I like waves. Hey, why do you have it in in this program? Are you trying to switch things up?
What do you mean?
I mean, you have it, in like a you don't have a Mac, but a program where you can play with it. Are you trying to make sure that Bitcoin gets number one and then send it back to the
Oh
ministry?
no, no, I just like Microsoft Paint. I think it's the greatest application Microsoft ever invented.
Wow. Okay. Hey, Bitcoin.
All right, let's do it. Oh wait, one more announcement before we do Bitcoin. Cold Card. This is the Rodolfo's project. They've open sourced their firmware, so you can go ahead and check that out. And I don't know if he's going to jump in today or we'll talk about the details tomorrow on a morning brief. But the morning brief tomorrow will have to be early in the morning because I have the law show in the afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern time. I don't know. We've been having problems coordinating lately between all of us, so it's been a little bit messy here. Okay, so that's Cold Card. We'll leave that in for tomorrow. I believe Ugly Old Goat wrote another article. I don't think I've read it yet. Again, been too busy. He wrote 2 additional articles, so I need to check those out. Oh, my affiliate code. Hey guys, if you like this stuff, and I'm gonna make cooler graphics. I really need to make cooler graphics here. But yes, I will. Please check that out if you want to support my work. how the workshop's doing. I need to refresh this page. Hold up. I need to know how many seats we actually have left. Boom. There it is. 11 seats left in Boston, 7 in Vegas, 5 in Chicago. Hey, go Chicago. Chicago is filling up. That is awesome. Vegas will probably get sold out. Boston, go for it, guys. Oh, and I have I'm speaking at a meetup. Like 55 people already signed up for a meetup. Hold on, let me get that link. Totally forgot to do that. Here it is.
I'll be in Madrid too.
Yes, Leah is coming on the cruise and Madrid. This is the Boston blockchain August meetup. This is the one I'm speaking at. Where is the info? This content is available to members only. Okay, but this is it. This is the I'll try to put the link in the video description. So this is the meetup that I'm speaking at in Boston, Friday, August 3rd, 6 p.m. There it is. So I got to make sure I leave. I set on my drive for Boston Friday morning. All right. So we'll have to probably do another early show. But yes, I'm speaking Friday at a meetup in Boston. There is attendees 56, so it'll be a big crowd. Okay. Yeah, you know what? At the end, we'll announce our travel schedules and stuff. I'm speaking at a bunch of conferences next month. Okay. The monthly chart. The monthly chart, as you can see, let me make this bigger. Am I in color?
Yeah.
I'm not even sharing. Oh, I am sharing. Am I in color? I'm in color.
Are. Yeah.
Okay, great. I don't know what's going on there. I know I need to check my graphics card, but like it's weird because like my computer doesn't have a problem. It's the way it like streams out through Zoom into YouTube for some reason. Recently started having an issue. But anyway, the monthly chart is knocking its head on the 7-month moving average. And you can see how the 7th-month moving average, after it got broken to the downside, finally and closed, all it's done is it got rejected by the 7-month moving average for the following 2 months, the April and May. And now it's happening again. So let's see if we can close above the 7-month moving average on the monthly chart. And we have, what, about 5 days left? Today's the 25th. I think so. Let me check. I got it.
Today is the 26th.
Today's the 26th. Right. Okay. I knew that. And we got 4 days left. No, it's July. There is 5 days left in July. And let's see what happens going forward. If we do get a price flip right here, right now, it could be a little weird from a timing perspective on trading. So let's give it a chance to go back down to like 6,800 for it not to have a price flip, and that makes it easier from a trading perspective. This is the weekly chart. I actually can't wait to see where the 30-week moving average is on Sunday night, because I believe that this was the big drop. Like, I think not the following month, but the month after, the week after, we will remove this candle from the first week of January, which was the second highest close we ever had. I don't think next week, but the week after that, these moving averages are going to cross. I believe that it's going to be an important situation from a technical analysis perspective. And next week, I don't think they're going to cross. I think they're going to come closer. And I think they're going to cross the first week of August. So that's going to be interesting because I want to see what happens. If the price gets rejected by the depth cross of the 30 versus the 50, that could end very, very badly. I would say we are still in the correction, in the dead cat bounce phase off the 9, which for me was difficult to make a trading call on. And but these are very strong candles. So because they're very strong candles that aren't really coming in with strong volume, though I understand it's only Bitstamp, it's not a global volume. Let's see what happens. Like, I'm not crazy bullish right here on a weekly chart. I would need the weekly chart to get above $10,000 for me to take this move seriously. I cannot take this move seriously until we're in the $10,000 vicinity. I just can't. To me, this is still a bear market, and this is just, you know, just a little up move in a bear market. The RSI will still need a couple more days to see what's going on. The RSI, if the RSI closes in this vicinity, I will not be able to have a similarity in the RSI between older markets. Like, the RSI was following the 2014 trend down, but if we close in this vicinity of 51, 52 on a weekly RSI, we will have absolutely I will not be able to make a similarity. I mean, you could say, hey, we dropped below this red line, and now we're in this vicinity here of June 2015, ready to go back to the upside. But look at how much time we spent below this red line back in 2014. We got into the red line in September, and we got out of this area in June. And this time we got into this area in May and got out of it in July of the same year. That doesn't really make sense to me. So I would not have any comparisons to the old RSI. And considering how much time we spent in the upper portion versus how much time we spent in the lower portion, it feels like something is off here. It like just doesn't make sense to me. Here's the MACD. The MACD is still pretty bearish. We are about to have a MACD cross to the upside, but that is something we did have back in 2014 in the price of Bitcoin. We did have a MACD cross to the upside. We even had it above the zero line, and then we went from June up until August in a bullish zone of MACD, and then we crossed back to the downside and went below zero. And then it tried crossing again right here back in December of 2014 and failed. And then it eventually crossed to the upside in February of 2015. Now, if you remember the price market, we crossed to the upside in February 2015. And then over here, we briefly crossed back in September of 2015. But look how much higher we were on the MACD. If you look at the price at that time, what we have is, this is February. Let me drop this stuff. So this is the February area right here with the price of 2015. This is where the MACD finally crossed to the upside. And then it crossed the second time for good, like we said, back in like September or something, back in this area. And this was great because look at your moving averages consolidating. And the depth cross that I'm talking about with the 30 going below the 50 took place on August 25th, back in 2014 days. And as you can see, the price was following the 30-week moving average, and it was above. So the price back then going into the depth cross was actually, in a better position than it is now, because now it's coming in from below. And coming in from below into a depth cross is traditionally more bearish than coming in down into the depth cross from above. So I am still bearish intermediate term. Short term, we can go a little bit further up. Maybe we can get closer to 9,000, but I'm not really expecting much. The ETF announcement has a lot to do with this psychologically and from a FOMO-ish perspective. But I think technical analysis will win over news and fundamental analysis. So I remain somewhat bearish intermediate term, and I'm starting to go from bullish to neutral short term, even though I was only bullish short term for like at most a week, not even. So I'm not going to talk about that on this video. The shorter term stuff, this is This is the daily. The daily hit a 9 and it topped on a 9. I haven't done these videos in a little while, though. Those that are familiar with this indicator, those that have access to this indicator, those that attended my workshop should have known exactly what to expect when a daily 9 shows up. The most obvious thing to do, and this is a great 9. It wasn't a reversal candle. I think we talked about that. It wasn't a reversal candle, but look at the 200-day moving average. Look how fast it is dropping. You had your depth cross. By the way, this is what I'm expecting from the weekly chart. Look at how the depth cross of the 128 versus 200 rejected the price. The price showed up. The price hit the 200-day, and then it hit the cross, exactly in the cross, for a beautiful shorting opportunity right off the cross. And now the daily chart looks different. We're back at the 200-day moving average resistance. So this was, two things. If this was a reversal candle, it would have been 3 things. And right now, you're looking at a 1 to 4 candle correction, and then reevaluate. If we continue going lower, we can go all the way down to a red 9. So that's the daily chart. Here's the 12-hour chart. The 12-hour chart is almost on a 9. Would have been nice to get this 9. It's coming in now. What would we need? Now, we'd need a 12-hour close. So in the next 10 hours, we would need a close above 8,400 to get that 9. So it looks like this count just got broken. And let's see what happens. But the target was reached. The bullish pennant target was reached. And CMF is starting to trickle down. RSI remains overbought. So yeah, not much going on here on a 12-hour chart. I would be very, very careful with the 12-hour chart right now. I would wait for it to go above 8,400, and then in the next candle give you a new high before I would consider this to be bullish. I just closed the 4-hour chart, the opposite of what I meant to do. Let's see. Again, CMF is coming down. RSI is coming down from overbought. MACD has crossed over into the bearish domain, but still above 0. And OBV is still pretty good. Let's zoom in here. Here's the 4-hour chart. The 4-hour chart did give you a 9. What didn't give you a 9 at the top, but good enough. You could have probably timed this 4-hour 9 with the daily 9 with a 12-hour 8 most likely. So definitely gave you a good shot to get out of its bullish pennant, and consolidating now. So no real opinion right here. The color is probably going to flip next candle. So no opinion on a 4-hour chart. The 1-hour chart, let me see here. The 1-hour chart also gave you a 9 at the high. Lots of 9s here, right? I mean, this is how you trade. You wait for your perfect opportunity. There was clearly a 9 on a 1-hour, a 9 on a 4-hour, a 9 on a daily, and almost a 9 on a 12-hour, all taking place within the same area. This is where you get out of your bullish trades and maybe take a stab at a short if you like, if you want to risk it. If not, probably don't. I don't recommend shorting. And right now, it's very, very neutral. You have a red 2 that's not below a red 1. You're above the cloud. You did hit a 9 on the downside. Now you're just consolidating. Nothing really going on. What do we got here? The S&P 500 is the weekly chart. Facebook lost billions and billions of dollars. I'm sure all of you are happy because everybody for some reason hates Facebook. I did a little shot at a congressman yesterday for accusing Facebook of being, bad for the world. And the other thing I forgot to mention was the only problem I have with Facebook is that they have a backdoor to the government for our personal data. I believe Facebook needs to do a better job protecting our privacy from government. I mean, that's what worries me. It doesn't worry me that some private company has my personal information. What worries me is that historically, when governments have too much of people's personal information, things in those countries go bad. That's why we need better privacy. This is why we have the Fourth Amendment, which is supposed to protect your privacy. Like your diary is not supposed to be it's supposed to be private. Like I believe that like your personal handwritten diary is not admissible in court if my law of the Fourth Amendment serves me correctly, and that law basically is ignored when it comes to electronic diaries, like your cell phone data and stuff like that. It's being challenged in court under the Fourth Amendment right now, but yeah, no one writes a handwritten diary anymore. Now we're using electronic diaries for our personal information, and I'm not sure how that court case went. Maybe on the law show tomorrow we can talk about it. But that was the thing. Do your personal private notes inside your cell phone serve as your personal private notes inside your personal handwritten diary, like was what the Fourth Amendment was for, that it's private and not like, admissible. So this is probably going to get challenged eventually. We'll see which way the Supreme Court goes. So I'm still very bullish the stock market. I always was. This is where Tyler and I disagreed. He was a lot more nervous about the stock market than I was. I remained a bull of the stock market. I thought this was just a short-term correction. And I believe Tyler now 100% agrees with me. Here's the daily chart. The daily chart looks beautiful. Yesterday's candle was a monster. We are reaching the top of this channel, but I believe the market will go to new all-time highs once this earnings season blows over. Gold continues to be a basket case, and I am looking for gold to go lower. And here is Amazon. Amazon took a big hit with Facebook earnings. This is why I told people to, if you're bullish Amazon, if you're long Amazon, get out on this daily candle right here. Granted, yesterday was a beautiful day for Amazon. It had a new all-time close. It had not a reversal candle, but Amazon's earnings. Why isn't my earnings little thingy there? Amazon's earnings are tonight, guys. So you want to be real careful. This is not a stock you want to be in during earnings unless you know what you're doing or have insider information on what the earnings is going to be. The Facebook earnings is probably dragging the entire market down, certainly dragging Amazon down. So let's see what happens. This is the daily chart of Amazon. We opened here. We already bounced. Wow, let me look at the 10-minute chart. Here's our first 10 minutes. We continue to drag down. Let's see what happens. You should never panic in the first 30 minutes of a market. I believe that a decent portion of this gap is going to close, but also here's what happens. On a move like this, a lot of people are exiting Amazon right now because they don't want to take a chance on earnings tomorrow. They don't want to take a chance that they're going to do a Facebook. Speaking of which, let's open Facebook. I haven't looked at it in a while. What was the date? June 13th. The last time I looked at Facebook was June 13th. What's today? July what? 20? Yeah, it's been a month and a half since I looked at Facebook. Let's take a look. Let's see if technical analysis would have helped us. Well, here's how technical analysis would have helped us. You would have known that earnings is coming on the 23rd of the month, right? So if you were in long Facebook, when would I have exited? I would have exited in this area. I would have seen this 9 right here on daily Facebook on the 11th of June. I know it's, this is the weekly one. Okay, so I'll go to daily in a minute. So from a weekly perspective, no, that would have been way too soon. Let's go to the daily perspective. Beautiful. Beautiful. Leah, where would you have exited Facebook? You're on mute. She doesn't want to answer. So, come on, you took my class. Don't make me look bad. So right here, look, you have a 9, combo 13, and then you have another combo 13, an aggressive 13 right here. And this was almost a 13. This was almost a sequential 13. Today was going to be the sequential 13. But here we have earnings. I don't know why TradingView is messing up. They did not report twice. They reported either this morning or last night. And if I was in Facebook or if I was advising people Facebook, this was the day I probably would have exited. And if it wasn't this day, it would have certainly been the next day. It would have been this little red candle giving you the all-time high in Facebook. Like, you don't want to risk it. And look how good the nines have been to Facebook. Here is a 9 and aggressive 13 on the same day, back on June 1st at the all-time high. This actually times really well with the weekly 9 that I showed you guys on the weekly chart. And then it did a little correction, and then it started to go up again. Once it, this green 2 above a green 1, boom, you go up again. Maybe I should do another one of my tweets where I highlight these things. You got another 9 right here at the top. Hey, take your exit. And then you kick off again with a green 2 above a green 1. And then you get out on this 9. And then this is going again. But hey, this is where you can't get stupid, right? This is where you have to say, hey, earnings is coming. I understand that the sequential system is telling me to stay long. I understand that I shouldn't have to worry about Facebook, but it is pretty extended. And the biggest problem with it is the fact that there's earnings. So unless you are an expert at trading stocks during their earnings day, you get the hell out. And I would have advised people to get out right in this area here, July 17th or July 18th. That's it. A worst case scenario, July 19th. I would have totally ignored the last 4 days of Facebook. There's no way in hell I would have been holding that stock long going into earnings. And guess what? If it would have gapped $200 in the opposite direction, I would have said, great. I don't know how to, I don't trade earnings that way, and I'll find better trading opportunities. So yeah, maybe I'll do like a deep dive into Facebook and send another tweet with details. All right, Leah, you got questions for me?
You know it. All right. So let's do, how about this one? So
I'm going to expect an answer next time when to get out of a position. Otherwise, I'm not going to answer.
Yeah, of course. Okay, when evaluating, okay, first I will actually on record say that I will, but only post coffee and when you don't tell me about this trading show 1 minute before it's going on. Okay, so it's long, but it's about the death crosses for Bitcoin. When evaluating death crosses, how important are the time frames of a chart, weekly, monthly, and the day lengths of the moving averages, 7, 30, 50 versus 50, 128, 200?
Okay, so hold on, let me just, I gotta check.
On the chat for you too.
I gotta check one thing. Oh, nice.
Earnings season.
Leah understand.
Earnings seasons. Plus, I will put also, I'll say that I do come from a fundamental analysis background, as Tone very well knows. And I do think that this was coming for Facebook, and pretty much everybody should have noticed that from what analysts were saying for the past couple quarters.
Well, that's the thing, right? See, I'm a technical analyst and I don't have time.
No way. Wait, are you? No.
And I don't have time to look at fundamentals. So I would have had absolutely no idea that Facebook potentially was expecting this, nor would I have cared that Facebook was expecting this, because I would have been bullish Facebook and long in Facebook this entire time, and I would have gotten out of the damn thing last week. Like, I would not have cared because I don't trust any of those things. Just like I don't trust any insiders that are going to tell me that the ETF is going to pass or not pass. Like, it's irrelevant to me, right? Like, I need to play the technical analysis and my own opinion of what's going to happen. But yes.
Sure. But, actually, maybe it's a question I'll ask. In the end of the day, I personally believe, and therefore it's a hypothesis for you to smash down, that when it comes to traditional markets, it's really important to pair both fundamental analysis with doing your trades based on your sequential system, but taking into account what you can learn from fundamental analysis, especially given the economic policies of when, let's say, Powell talks about and makes changes with interest rates, but also when you're starting to understand and look at right now, especially the multiples and what's going on in the markets and with oil and with whatever you're seeing, and then making your trades based specifically on the price movements of TA. Yes.
I would say that everything you say is true.
What?
But
making my morning.
Everything you say is absolutely true and accurate.
But
for a trading operation with resources, right? Like you were a fundamental analyst for a big operation with resources. If you are a solo at-home trader, then the answer is no. But if you are some kind of a trading shop with 10, 20 employees, and you can put half of those employees to do fundamental analysis like you were, then yes. Like if you have the resources to do both, then you do both. But for an at-home person, he does not have the resources to do fundamental analysis unless the only thing he trades is one asset, right? Like if the only asset you trade is Bitcoin, then you yourself do have the resources to do both technical and fundamental. If you're trading multiple assets, then you have to pick one. And I think doing fundamental analysis for your trading is crazy. Now, when it comes to these altcoins, I wouldn't exactly call that fundamental analysis. I'd call that more joining chat groups and pump and dumps, right? That's not exactly fundamental analysis. I mean, you could say that, hey, I researched these things and I decide who to invest in. And then I would say, well, then you're the worst researcher ever, because if you research anything other than Bitcoin, the only logical conclusion you can come up with, you should be able to come up with, is, oh my God, I should never have a single penny in this asset, even if it can pump. So that's the thing that I find frustrating. Like I talk to some of these people, yeah, we have a 20 people operation and we invest in ICOs and we trade altcoins. And I'm like, well, you're a penny stock trading desk. What do you want me to tell you? It can be profitable, but you're trading garbage. There's nothing wrong with making money from trading garbage, but your portfolio can blow up at any day. Okay, let's get back to the question.
All right. Yep, it's in your chat.
There's two things there, right? So the time frame question is simple. The higher the time frame, the more important it is as a signal, right? So the pulling into the death cross on the weekly, like what's happening right here, like whatever goes on in this area over the next 2 weeks by pulling into the death cross on the weekly is more critical than the 200-day moving average, which is doing its thing right now, right? So the higher your time frame, the more relevant it is. Like normally the 128-day moving average has been very, very useful to the price of Bitcoin. And I believe Willy Woo started this, and I think I'm gonna have him on my show sometime next week. One more trader guest for trading Bitcoin. I need to coordinate that. So what happens is that a higher level time frame, like the weekly, that is, man, this thing keeps getting in the way. Like the higher level time frame, like the weekly, that is pulling the price into its death cross, managed to blow right through the 128-day moving average and making it less relevant, because the higher level time frame is more critical to the prices than a lower level time frame. As far as the values of your moving averages, that's a complete trader preference. You can, again, I spent a lot of time on this in my workshop. It's up to you to either use the most popular moving average parameters. I really like the 50, 128, and 200 on the daily, and I really like the 7, 30, and 50 on the weekly, mostly because I learned the 7 and the 30 from Tyler. I learned the 128 from Willy Woo, and I really like those moving averages. They seem to be useful for Bitcoin. I have absolutely no idea if the 128-day moving average is useful in any other asset besides Bitcoin. I have no idea. I have not checked. In traditional markets, I always used 20, 50, and 200 on all time frames. That's what I used to do, okay? Weekly, daily, monthly, actually just daily and weekly. I never, as a trader, as a swing trader in traditional markets, I only used daily and weekly charts. When I was trading futures, I was a day trader, and I only used 10-minute time frames. I used 10-minute candles, and I used to go to 5-minute candles to enter and exit my trades. But the decisions on those trades were done on 10-minute candles. I didn't look at any moving averages. I didn't care. I didn't care about moving averages. I didn't care about a lot of stuff. Chart patterns. I didn't care about that. I was a day trader using 10-minute candles in the futures market. When I was a swing trader in the equity markets, then I cared about the 20, 50, 200. Simple. I never liked exponential, but some people love exponential. Again, it's trader preference.
Okay, next one. Also, if anyone in the live chat wants to fund Tone and I to get another Bloomberg terminal, super appreciated. Okay, I'll stop. The weekly candles look like they're about to have a second rejection of the 30-week moving average. Would
Wait,
this?
hold on, sorry, I'm a little distracted at the moment. Sorry, wait. Okay, so here's Amazon on a 10-minute chart. Okay, here's what's gonna happen. I don't really, in this case, I'm not the. Let me look at the overall market first. Actually, wait, hold on. All right, we're gonna have to do something here. Give me a second. All right, we got the Amazon 10-minute chart right here. I need the S&P 500 here. Actually, the future of the S&P 500. All right, that's the E-mini future on a 10-minute chart. Man, I wish I could. Okay, give me a second here. So it's a 10-minute chart. So market opened on this 9:30, yeah, 9:40. Wait, this makes no sense. Am I off by a candle? What's going on? Hold on. Those candles make no sense to me. Yeah, that's better. Wait, but it's a 10-minute candle. How is this candle a 9:40 candle? It's already 9:54. I don't get it. I think there's a problem. I think I'm on a delay. Oh, it's on a delay.
Auto adjust.
Damn it. Okay, I can't use futures. It's on a delay. See, this is why you have to pay attention. Give me a second here. I have to use SPX 10 minutes. Okay, that's fine. There is a reason to this madness. Hold on. Facebook. Because Facebook is driving this right now. What is this thing? Okay. And Google reported good earnings, correct?
Answer your question. First of all, Alphabet, and second of all, they did.
Whatever. It's Google.
It's not.
Gee, I've been trading Google for like 10 years. I can't. I'm never gonna say Alphabet.
Yeah, 10 years, and they were Google 10 years ago.
They were. Okay, so what I am looking for here, right? So here's the market. Here's the opening move of the market was up. We put in a hammer candle on the following 10 minutes. We're now trending down. I believe we're going to make a secondary low that's higher. I am expecting, I'm not expecting much lower. However, Amazon is actually taking a bigger intraday hit than Facebook is. And that makes sense because people that are long Amazon right now are a little nervous that it's going to report bad earnings as well. So they're taking their profits. Now, smart people took their profits yesterday, but some of them are taking it today. So basically what I'm saying is, if 5 minutes from now, Amazon is even lower, it's going to get pretty bad for Amazon for the rest of the day. All right, question.
You got it. Let's do the same question. So the weekly candles, if you want to get back to Bitcoin, look like they are about to have a second rejection of the 30-week moving average. Would this be more akin to June 2014? Because you've been pulling that up. I'll also put it in the chat for you.
Well, no, see, this is very different than June 2013 because 2014, I'm assuming. And the reason why it's so different is because back then, when we got rejected by the 30-week moving average, we stayed up there for 2 months, and we trended and hugged the 30-week moving average into the depth cross and then collapsed. What happened this time was when we got rejected by the 30-week moving average, we fell quickly and made the base that you see before we went up there, right? So last time we made the base and then moved into the 30-week for the first time and got rejected. This time around, what we did was we made this long base at the bottom. That was the recent base a couple of weeks ago. And then we moved into the 30-week, but that was the second time we're hitting the 30-week, not the first time. So there are significant differences between the current environment and the last environment. Basically, imagine if we went straight up from this candle here in April. If we went straight up, got rejected by the 30-week moving average, fell below the 50-week moving average, made a base, and are now moving into this corner. So let me draw it with arrows. So what we actually did on our move, we went up. Let's say we went up from this candle straight into the 30-week moving average. Man, this is going to be hard because all my annotations came back. Into the 30-week moving average. Then I'm gonna just stick to green. Then we made the lower base, and now we're going back up again into the cross. So now I'm gonna take a red arrow. Oh, not an arrow. Damn. Well, that's okay. I'll do a trend like red like this, and now I'm just gonna draw a box. Just draw a red box or something, you know. And then we got stuck here, like that, right? So this is what we actually did this time around. So I'm still expecting the same result once we get to the moving average cross.
Awesome. Next. Futures are expiring tomorrow. Can you analyze the impact?
Ooh, interesting. Again, this is something you're supposed to be aware of if you have the time to pay attention to everything. I don't know. I don't know the effect, right? Because the effect is different every time. Anyone that thinks they know the effect, to be honest, absolutely doesn't. Where am I here? Here we go. Anyone that, like, there is no effect. I don't think the effect can be predicted. I think it's all coincidence, and I think it's all hindsight. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think the futures are all that relevant. And I know last time everyone went crazy because like the price of Bitcoin did a crazy move. I forgot in which direction, up or down, the day of the futures expiration. And it can also do the same tomorrow with the futures expiration, but moving the opposite direction. I don't think people really, I don't think there was a correlation there. I think something is probably going to happen. And I don't know in which direction it's going to happen. Most likely because the price has gone up into the futures. Most likely, for me, the most likely outcome of what the futures will do is reverse the most recent trend. So if I had to guess what the futures will do, the expiration of the futures, I'd say it will drop the price of Bitcoin because people are going to exit their positions and they might take on the opposite positions. So I honestly don't know. I also have not had much time to think about it. Maybe if I had time to sit down and analyze and think about all of the prior futures expirations and what they did and how how the price moved into those days and what happened over the week after, I'll be able to give you a better answer, but I have not done that analysis and it's too long to do on live air. So this is good. The market is starting to rebound right here at 10 a.m. This is a very positive sign. And I am expecting at this point, if this is what's going to happen over the next 3 minutes, I will expect the market to rebound for at least an hour or so, and then we reevaluate at 11 a.m. So the 10 a.m. time period is really important for me. And it looks like Amazon put in a low right there at 10 a.m. And out of the 4 things that you see on the screen, Amazon took the biggest intraday hit, not counting the Facebook gap. You can see that the stock market took the biggest hit in the first minute of the market, and it went up ever since. And now the stock market is forming a bit of a ascending triangle, which is bullish. Alphabet, no, I can't say that. Google also put in its low at on the first minute of market open, and then it made a secondary low, which is great. And now we're starting to trend up. Facebook put in a low at the moment of the market and is trying to trend up. And Amazon took the biggest intraday hit out of the 4 that I have on the screen, and it put in a low at 10 a.m. So this is a great sign that the low for the morning is probably in. Back when I was a day trader trading S&P futures intraday, I would be long S&P futures right now for my day trade that would last between 1 hour and 2 hours. And my stop loss would be just below this low right here. It wouldn't be a perfect trade, not all the ducks lined up in the row, but on the current 10-minute candle, once I saw it trading above the prior 10-minute candle, I would be long this candle. So I wish I can show you S&P futures in real time. I could if I log into my brokerage account, but I'm not going to do that because I'm not crazy. And I would be long S&P futures right here on this candle, on the current 10-minute candle. I would be long S&P futures as of that moment. Now, the price right here looks to be 28.39. We are now at only 28.40. So it only went up $1. So what you need to understand about the S&P futures, if I was trading the mini futures, I would certainly have at least 2 contracts, maybe 4 contracts. So for every dollar that for every dollar that it goes up, and I'm holding 2 contracts. So for every dollar that it goes up, I make $100. Okay, so if it goes up $10, I go up 10 points, whatever. I make 1,000. So I would be trading at least 2, maybe 4. And if I was trading the big boy, if I was trading the actual S&P future, not the mini, for every dollar that the S&P 500 rises, so for every, it's 5x, right? So I would make $250 for every dollar. Right. So if I had 2 contracts and I'm holding the 2 actual S&P contracts, not the minis, for every dollar that it goes up, I make instead of $100, $500. Okay. Or also, if it goes against me, I lose $500. Like, these are very, very leveraged instruments in the futures market. But right now, I would be long and probably setting a break-even stop because futures trade a little bit different. But right now, I am still fairly optimistic and fairly bullish on the afternoon of the price. But this is not the most optimal situation. I do look for more optimal situations. This wasn't the most optimal situation. It was borderline tradable, very borderline. I like them to be more clean than this. All right. Is there another question?
Yep. Also, did you know that Microsoft replaced, someone said about Microsoft replaced Netflix, so you can repronounce the Fang. I'll let you do that later because I think it's
What
really
does that mean? I don't get it.
Fam.
What?
It's not very exciting. The largest macro cap stocks, they replaced it with Microsoft. Maybe it's because they bought Bit. Okay, I will stop for you.
No, I'm sorry. I don't understand. I'm totally confused on
Okay.
what you mean.
Okay, FNG, right? You were talking about wanting to do Google and not calling it Alphabet. So they added actually Microsoft to it. So now it's like a much less exciting name, actually. So, okay, here you go. Can you explain from a trading perspective why it is more difficult and not recommended to short Bitcoin than long Bitcoin?
Sure. I will also add that right now, I'd probably be considering getting out of this trade because I don't like to lose money.
Tone.
Right here. So because I don't like to lose money, and even though it was a profitable trade, I would have considered it. Maybe I would have like got out just before the green line because I don't like to lose money. It can still go up. It can go up without me, but it didn't go straight up. It didn't get to 28.42. It didn't get to like new highs for the day. Like when I make a trade, I expect to be making money immediately. And if I don't, and if I feel nervous that I'm about to go into, I never go from positive trades into red trades. I don't do that. So it can still work out, but at this point, I would like, you know what? I'll trade another day. I'll take my $100 worth of profit and I'll get the hell out and I'll wait for a better opportunity because I don't want to lose money. Okay, so wait, what was the question again?
Specifically in Bitcoin, you don't recommend
shorting. Yeah, because I mean, shorting in general is not recommended. Like shorting in general is a lot riskier than going long. It's a lot harder than going long. So Bitcoin just makes it even more tricky because Bitcoin is revolutionary, and we all think that one Bitcoin is going to be upwards of $1 million, and it can honestly do that at any single moment. So shorting Bitcoin is not advisable at all. Shorting is tricky because everyone is incentivized for things to go up, right? Like people are always upset that the government and the Fed manipulates the stock market for it to go up, and yet they always want to short the market thinking it's going to crash. So like that, like it's so contradictory, right? Like if you believe that there's a conspiracy theory preventing the stock market from falling, why are you constantly losing money shorting the stock market? Like I don't understand that, right? Like all of these conspiracy, all of these gold bugs, all of these things is like, I would have been right. The market is supposed to crash. The government is manipulating it. Great. So why don't you just make money and buy stocks, right? So like I don't understand that, right? So in the traditional markets, everyone is incentivized for the stock market to go up because all of these government entities, they also have retirement accounts in the stock market. So everyone's incentivized for it to go up. Everyone's incentivized for Bitcoin to go up. Everyone wants Bitcoin to go up. I want Bitcoin to go up. I want to make money too. I want Bitcoin to go up. It's just that the technical picture is telling me that it won't. But I'm not going to risk, like, I'll sell Bitcoin. I'm not going to risk shorting Bitcoin, even though I did. Back in 2014 and 15, when I was writing about trading and trading, I was certainly shorting Bitcoin back then as well. There were a few outlets that let you do that. And I made decent money shorting, but it's just dangerous. It's dangerous because everyone is incentivized to pump Bitcoin. It's easier to manipulate Bitcoin to the upside than it is to the downside. And here's a comment that no one is going to believe. It's easier to manipulate gold to the upside than it is to the downside. It's just easier because when you manipulate gold to the upside, all of the gold bugs start helping you by telling you to buy gold. It's a lot easier to manipulate gold to the upside. It's just that nobody can do it.
Following up on that, do you believe that potentially a contrarian positioning against the herd will work in Bitcoin trading?
Um, that's a good question. Short term, no. Medium to long term, yes. This is why I remain medium term bearish on the price of Bitcoin and long term bullish. But on a short term, the herd can be irrational a lot longer than you can stay liquid. So if you are going to go against the herd, it has to be on a longer time scale than a swing trade. Your swing trade should be with the herd. Your intermediate position and your investment position, your retirement account position, your multi-month trading position or outlook could be against the herd, or you have a mentality against the herd and you wait for the herd to realize that you were right, and then you jump on the trade.
Okay, let's do one more. So does a death cross almost always lead to a decline in price, or is that only true if it's in a bear market?
That's an interestingly phrased question. Well, it depends on your moving average parameters. That's one. And two, the death cross usually happens in a bear market. If it wasn't a bear market, there wouldn't be a death cross. Things would be trending up. Like if we look at a stock, even like Facebook, right? Here's Facebook. I don't have my standard moving averages. Let me go ahead and do that. Let's go to favorites. Let's go to my triple. I really wish this thing had was set up for. I'm gonna use 20. I don't know. Tyler got me on this 730-50 thing, but you know what? I'm gonna do my normal 20, 50, 200 because Facebook has a good enough history for that. And style. What do I do? Orange, purple, and blue. And I'll make them thicker. So here's Facebook, right? And the price just gapped below all three moving averages. It was certainly bullish here. Now, where are your death crosses, right? Here is the traditional 50 versus 200 death cross. So was Facebook in a bear market right here? Well, a general definition of a bear market is a 20% drop in the price, right? So Facebook hit a high of 195 and Facebook hit a low of 150. So is that a 20% drop in the market? It almost is a 20% drop in the market. Oh, no, it's a 25% drop in the market, right? $50 on 95. So yeah, so Facebook wasn't a bear market. So you had the death cross in a bear market, but the stock did rally back above. And right over here, somewhere in this vicinity, when you're having a golden cross, you're back in a bull market. So what was the question again?
Sorry. It was, sorry, usually I get rid of them when, okay. Oh, sorry. Bitcoin price hitting the death cross and coming down. Nope, sorry, it wasn't that one. Okay. I don't know, actually.
Right, it was a strangely phrased question. Like, I expect death crosses.
Oh, I got it. Historically, does a death cross almost always lead to a decline in price?
No, not necessarily. It depends on where the price is in relation to the death cross. That wasn't the question, by the way, but that's a better question. Okay, so right here, the price had bottomed before the death cross. So the death cross actually, the price was already rebounding. So the death cross came late. So now if the price was consolidating between the 50 and the 200, like in between these, the purple and the blue line, consolidating into the point, then I would say it has a 70 to a 75% likelihood that it will lead to lower prices. But when your asset drops 25% and now goes up a significant amount, And it didn't even go perfectly up into the def cross. It did drop the price one more time, but then we had earnings and got us out of it. So not necessarily. It really depends. Like your price could have already corrected before the def cross, and the def cross is reactionary. Okay. Now, I know everyone is going to say, isn't that what's going to happen in Bitcoin? Like here, the price was coming down into the def cross, and then it led to significantly lower prices. Is it possible that right now in the current environment, the price has already corrected and the def cross is reactionary? It's possible, but very unlikely. Now, if this was a correction down to 5,000 or 3,000, and then we were going back up, I would say now this def cross is more reactionary, and it doesn't necessarily have to lead to lower lows. But because the low before the def cross is not really that much lower than the prior two lows, I still believe that this is the type of def cross that will lead to lower prices. So a lot depends on what the price does leading into the def cross.
Awesome. I'll take two more, and they're more high level. So if you want to pull off or whatever you want to do, for anyone wants to see your haircut again. But
but yeah, hey, I want to go back to this for a second. So I did say this is where I would take on my bullish trade. And I also said that I would have considered already exiting this trade because I wasn't comfortable with it. But as you can see, this line was never touched after the entry of the trade. So it's one thing getting in a perfect trade that immediately starts making you money. It's another thing having the confidence to stay with that trade. And nothing is wrong with getting nervous and getting out of a trade with a little bit of profit. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, if the next candle is another green candle, it gives me a green 2 above a green 1, I become even more confident in the afternoon rally. Like I said, 20 minutes ago, I was expecting an afternoon rally.
Okay.
Oh, no, not afternoon rally, more pre-afternoon morning rally.
Yeah. Stay on those charts, actually. If you can do another 4, which would be cool. Otherwise, you can just take it as is. Recently, there was a shift from alts into Bitcoin. All alts were down, Bitcoin was up. Do you view this as bullish sign for Bitcoin, especially if it happens again?
I don't think so. I think people are still in love with shitcoins. I know it is because I started blocking people because they're getting out of control. Like if you have a logo of a shitcoin in your Twitter handle and you write me anything, I'll probably block you because I don't want to hear what you have to say. And I have so many messages on Twitter that I can't read messages from people that I actually want to read. So by having a shitcoin as your logo is enough for me to block you because like whatever you say is totally irrelevant because at that point, I don't find your comments to be smart or relevant or anything like that, right? So for me, I know Ugly Old Goat thinks that there is a flippening into Bitcoin right now from shitcoins. I still think that I don't think so. I think people are still, I don't think people get it yet. In all my years of trading, like 5 or 10 years of trading, maybe on 1 or 2 occasions in 5 years, I had someone try to convince me that I should be trading and investing in penny stocks. And, but in crypto space, this happens like hourly. Someone is trying to convince me that a coin I've never heard of is better than Bitcoin. So I don't think we're close. I think that if Bitcoin has actually rebounded, I think the ICOs and the shitcoins are going to pump even more. I don't see it yet. I just don't. I really think Ethereum needs to grind to a halt and not be able to process any more transactions for people to finally understand that all of them are actually shitcoins.
Okay, last question. And maybe you're Nostradamus or a soothsayer on this one, but let's just have a little fun. What are your serious price expectations for Bitcoin in 2 to 5 years' time? And then we will let you go and have fun with traditional markets for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I got to do some trading, guys. I got Today and tomorrow are fairly critical for me. And actually next week as well. Lots of good earnings next week. So, okay. So in 2 years, I would be expecting us to have a very good bull market. We're also going to be getting close to a halving in 2 years, the halving of 2020. Probably would happen by this time in 2 years. So no matter what happens over the next 3 months, in 1.5 years, I'm expecting the price of Bitcoin to be rising, not falling. So whether we have already bottomed and we're going to the upside, then it's very possible that a year and a half from now, we're pushing $100,000 and getting ready for another serious correction. If the bear market continues for another year or even another year and change, then I would still be expecting us a year and a half from now to be in a bull market. Now, is it possible that a year and a half from now, we're at $15,000 for one Bitcoin? Very, very possible. If this bear market continues into next year and the price does come down to, let's say, $2,000 or $3,000, then it could take a little while for us to get back to 20,000. So I would say 2 years from now, again, 2 years from now is very tricky. I don't want to do 2 years. I'd rather do 3 years or 1.5, because 2 years from now is the halving. The halving of 2020 is coming around May. We are in July of 2018 right now, and the next halving, is coming around May or June of 2020. So I don't want to be in that time frame. So we can talk about, let's say, January of 2020. Well, I expect the price of Bitcoin to be in a bull market on January of 2020. Whether that's at a price of $15,000 or $150,000 is unclear to me yet, because I have not called the end of the bear market.
John, go trade. It's earnings seasons.
What?
Go trade. It's earnings season.
All right. Thank you. All right, guys. Hey, law show 2 p.m. today. It'll be great. Don't miss it. Final shilling of affiliate codes is here. Please, if you like my work and you want to support my work, I will make sure I make cooler graphics for you to want to click on them. But lots of these are discount codes, and they are, products or services that I have that I support, and hopefully they're not going to scam you. And I don't believe that they will. So go ahead and check these out. And workshops, my last month in North America will be August. So these are the final seats remaining, just over 20 seats in total left in my North America travels this summer. And after that, I am off to Europe and then Asia and then Australia. We'll have more updates on that. Conferences. They're on a different tab. Shoot, I'm gonna start putting them in here. Oh God, I'll be speaking in Chicago. There's a conference. Vegas, there's 2 conferences I'm speaking at. After that, Leah, myself, Giacomo, and Jimmy are all going to be on the blockchain cruise right before the Madrid workshop. There was a conference in Amsterdam. There's a conference in Prague. There's a conference in Latvia. Those were all in September, October. So I will be talking more about my travel schedule. You
want to say where the cruise is going?
Oh yeah. So let me grab the website. All right, here's the cruise. Wow. So please, if there's any, if there's any deity there in the world, because we are on a cruise with Roger Ver, please make sure that Bcash hard fork for a 50% split in their community between fake Satoshi and crazies is fully divided, so that the cruise would be so much more enjoyable for us if people on that cruise are asking Roger which is the real Bcash and which is Bitcoin Cash. Okay, please fork the damn thing before we all get on the cruise. There's Jimmy Song, Brock Pierce, more entertainment for all of us. John McAfee is clearly not enough entertainment, so we got Brock as well. and it's gonna be really, really cool. And
I think Giacomo's up. Before you guys. He's somewhere.
yeah, Giacomo's there. There he is.
There he is.
Giacomo.
Right in the middle.
Jimmy is in here as well. There's Jimmy. There's me. They're using badass picture. And here's where the cruise is going. From Barcelona to Monte Carlo to Ibiza. Or the other way around. I think it's going to Monte Carlo second. Check it out. You can still get your cabins. They are available. There's still room. By the way, the entire cruise is chartered for blockchain people. That's not what happened on the last cruise, by the way. The last cruise we did, only like a quarter of the cruise were blockchain crazies. This one, the entire cruise is blockchain crazies.
Okay.
2,500 of you people.
I can't wait for Jimmy on this one.
Yeah, we had about 500.
And Giacomo. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we had about 500 Bitcoiners last time.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be a lot of fun. All right, everybody, have an amazing day. Tone, you're still on screen share?
Oh, yeah.
Our cruise.
Hey, guys.
Everybody take care.
New haircut. Hey, next time, we'll go for the mohawk or maybe the reverse mohawk. We'll think of something.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.